If you're like us, you're probably sitting there refreshing your analytics and search console every 30 seconds between scurrying over to Twitter to find the latest SEO news from trusted sources that you follow. Or maybe you keep checking Google to see if John Mueller's site has been allowed back into the index. Newsflash, it has. Either way, it's time to get a bit meta and drop an update about the Google March 2024 update. When the update was announced on March 5th, one of the things that Google was very clear about in their guidance was that the update was likely going to take a month to complete. Considering that, this puts us about the halfway point, which is not a bad time to check in on the state of things. So let's start by looking at the losers, because there were quite a few. Stick around for the winners though, because there have been some surprising winners so far. Let's start out looking at housefresh.com. This one really stings because it's an affiliate review site that's actually been built very well with the end user in mind. They look predominantly at air purifiers and dehumidifiers. Everything they review is purchased by them. They test their products in-house. They do all the research themselves, devise complex scientific measurements, and they provide these really useful energy cost calculations as well, which I thought was pretty cool. The site has no ads. It's only supported by affiliate revenue, even though they're completely unbiased in what they say. Simply put, if you wanted or needed an air purifier or dehumidifier for your room, the site would certainly be a go-to high-quality resource, except in the eyes of Google. The traffic's been savage. They've lost significant traffic across both September HCU and the March 2024 core update. But so far this month, Ahrefs is reporting over a 60% traffic loss. Now, if you wanted to find out about the best air purifiers, there'll be a couple decent reviews on the New York Times and CNET, plus Architectural Digest. Doesn't even look like they purchased the products to test. And don't even get me started on the high quality Reddit posts that are ranking for this term. Seriously, HouseFresh easily deserves to be top 3 for this keyword. One of the biggest drops we've seen from this update has been fresherslive.com, which went from 6 million organic to 0. Yeah, the site got completely de-indexed. And honestly, this one's probably deserved. Looks like they were using AI to produce much of their 600,000 pages. And let's just say the quality and user experience is poor. Moving on to a few other sites that have seen their traffic obliterated are StyleCraze and InsanelyGoodRecipes.com. Both these sites have already seen significant downturns in their traffic last year, and the March update has not turned things around for them. A quick look at these sites' traffic charts show catastrophic drops, and in particular, Insanely Good Recipes site has lost 50% of its traffic since March 5th, and it's still falling. I couldn't help but notice that one picture of the author looks very similar to those images generated by thispersondoesnotexist.com. You can tell by the eyes. And it's not just impacting big sites, but you're seeing it with SEO agencies feeling the pinch with their client sites as well. It really hurts to see people like Rebecca having her business damaged by these changes, but at least she's managed to keep her sense of humor. In amongst all these changes, Google took the opportunity right at the outset of the update to hand out some manual penalties to some high-profile SEO personalities like Julian Goldie and Jackie Chow. It's obvious that Google has targeted some people in the SEO space that were sharing and teaching strategies that, while often effective, weren't necessarily in line with how Google wants people to operate. Now, on one hand, it does make sense if you're Google, but you do have to wonder how good the algorithm is if they need to dish out targeted manual penalties just to keep things in check. Still, it'd be interesting to see how these penalties play out over time. Julian's site has already gotten re-indexed, though only 10 of the pages are showing up, while Jackie posted that at least one of his manual penalties have been reviewed and lifted by Google. All right, let's talk about a few winners because that'll help us all feel better about ourselves, right? There are a number of sites that have gained a fair bit of traffic during the update, but one of the more inspiring stories comes to us courtesy from Ian at sitestatsdb.com. He spotted a site called homesteadingfamily.com, and their traffic has gone up by over 50% in the last month. And this is really one of those great niche sites that's run by real people who are creating high quality content. They have a great podcast and even an info product business model behind the site. Everything about this site just oozes quality. And to be honest, this is exactly the type of site that Google should be rewarding. As is this next site, cjeatsrecipes.com. It's only DR26, but it's up almost 40%. It's an interesting site because there's a lot of downward movement in the recipes niche. For years, Google has actually rewarded sites that write 2,000 words on the history of lasagna before giving you the ingredients and recipe steps that you actually came for. Note that CJ does not do that, so thank you CJ, and thank you Google, I guess. One travel website that had a huge 60% increase in traffic is Google Travel? Seriously, they're doing this shit again? No wonder people are again posting for Google to be broken up. I think that these SEOs might have a point this time. But with all this movement, what should you be doing? Well, Danny Sullivan from Google says your best bet is probably to wait it out. In some advice to a site owner, Danny suggested to do nothing now during the update and see how things pan out. This is similar to the advice that we gave in our initial video on the update. But I know many folks are keen to figure out what to do if they have been affected. While we still have another couple of weeks to go, you probably have a sense for where you're going to land already. So it might be time soon to prepare to start doing a deep dive audit of your entire site. And we've actually released our content audit blueprint, which is part of the SEO penalty pack, which is on sale now. If you head on over to authorityhacker.com/SEO penalty pack, you can learn more about this and our 80% off launch offer that's going on right now. A couple of other less well-publicized changes, though, were to the people on Google's search teams. They just announced that Liz Reed is taking over the role of head of search, and Pandu Nayak is moving on to become the chief scientist for search. I'd like to be the chief scientist for something. That sounds pretty cool. Chinu Venkatachari is replacing Nayak in leading Google's search quality and ranking teams. To be honest, it's unlikely that these changes are a reflection on the individuals involved and more just a reshuffling of the corporate deck chairs to accommodate career progression and people naturally moving on. Having said that, though, it is really interesting that these changes are happening and announced during such a large update. And at the very minimum, it gives people like us something to talk about and speculate about. But that's probably enough speculation for one video. So let's try and save some of that for the next 2 weeks as this rollout progresses. It certainly feels like a lot has happened so far. I'm only halfway through. The rest of the month should be interesting. Putting aside speculation for now, we are interested in hearing how you're doing in the update so far. Did you gain some traffic? Disappear entirely? Where do you think things are ultimately going to land? Head on down to the comments section down below and let us know your thoughts. And while you're there, if you could smash the like button and subscribe to get notified whenever we drop a new video, that would be greatly appreciated. If you like this video on our channel, you'll also like this video.